Here for the Sydney preview on Saturday, and I'm joined by our Sydney tipster, Nick Lookanyuk, to preview his best bets for Randwick on Saturday. Nook, we've got another 10-race card. How are you enjoying the 10 races?
They're a bit of a slog at this time of year. They've been deep fields, pretty even fields, so it has been tough, and this week's probably the toughest. So we're going to be on a dry Randwick for a change. We're coming off some really wet Randwick tracks over the past month, so it's made things very tricky here. You think you might be able to find an edge here and there of horses going back onto a good surface, but there's not too many of those. I've found it a pretty hard card overall.
Hard card, but you've got to be confident about your best bet. Where are we going for your best?
Reasonably confident. Race 3 and number 2, La Chevalier. Now, look, she's a little bit different here. She is a horse that enjoys a wet track, and the danger here is she going back onto either a good 4 or 5. So can she be as effective? It just looks though a really good race once again for her. Drawn beautifully, so she can take a trail from barrier 3. She was dominant last start. I had a query because I hadn't seen her beyond a mile whether she was going to run out that 1800 last start, and she did it with aplomb. So no issue at all with the distance. As I said, she's going to get a great run, and it's just not a really deep race for mine. I think my Demetra's the danger. Thinks she's headed the right way in her 2 runs this campaign, and Zing's the other one, but she's drawn poorly. I don't know what they're going to do from there. Do you push forward and sit outside the lead from barrier 10? Or they go back, and I'm not sure she's going to be able to run La Chevalier down if they do that. But she's consistent, but with that draw, I thought it made it hard, and that's why I was pretty keen here on number 2, La Chevalier.
Yeah, it's had a pretty nice prep, Le Chevalier. It's sort of built with each run. I remember backing it first up at the Bull. Just got run off its legs a little bit by wishful thinking, but it's had a very consistent prep. Not too many bad runs in there at all. Where do we head for your next best?
Next race, race 4, number 9, Savvy Legend. Do like this horse at the price here, $7.50, so you can play each way. Just had no luck at Canterbury, 2 back behind Mr. G. Finished 4th on that occasion. Mr. G's a leading chance here because he came out and won really well in the Kenzo last start, beat Shuffle Up, who was a winner midweek, so that form line's pretty good. Then Savvy Legend went out to 2,000 metres and ran pretty well there, second behind Harpo Marks. That was on a really testing condition, so I like that it's back now to 1,800. I think that suits. Kieran McAvoy stays aboard. His form's good. He's been holding his form throughout this preparation, so I think at that price he's a good each-way play.
Yeah, nice price at $6.50. I'm a little bit shocked to see Morton's Fork in the field. I thought Mort might have packed it in, but here he is at Randwick on Saturday.
Yeah, a few have put the fork in Morton's Fork. His best form was a little while ago, so he might need to show something on Saturday.
Well, your next best is a nice price. What about your best value? What price are we looking at?
Best value, we just continue in order here. Race 5 now. Number 2, Catapult. And again, reasonable amount of confidence here. I found outside of Catapult and Zora Cat that I could throw a blanket over the rest of it. It was really hard to split them, but I think Catapult brings in some decent form from the midways. First up, had to weave a passage in the straight, finished off pretty well for 4th behind our Bellagio Miss. Last start was back, that's what he does. Hooked out the widest, ran on okay for 7th, but a couple of things really in his favour. He now gets up to 1,300 and a dry track. So he looked the last preparation, went back to back at Warwick Farm. They were on good tracks up to 7 furlongs. So he's had that couple of groundings over the shorter trips now, up to 1,300. It's an open race, but he brings in decent enough form, and he's double figures at the moment. So I think he's a good player. I do respect Zora Cat, but he's short, and he's one of those that's coming off a really dominant win, but it was on a heavy track now, has to transfer that back onto a firmer surface.
Very good. And anything else on the card catch your eye?
No, as I mentioned, it's a very tough day. I've got quite a few at the each way prices. I've got 5 in a row on top that are number 2 saddlecloth. That's something you can take away with you, but outside of that, it's pretty tough. But check out the full preview, there's a little bit of value across the card.
Righto, can you just recap your best bets for ZBet? ZBet in the zone, please, Nook.
Indeed, best bet comes up race 3, number 2, La Chevalier, around $2.60 at the moment. Next best, race 4, number 9, Savvy Legend, and the best value, race 5, number 10, Catapult.
There you have it, punters. Plenty of value there from the Nook. For his full preview, head to punters.com.au.